Hey guys, Logan here, and today I'm here to give you guys my review for a movie I went to see earlier today, Tomb Raider. Not starring Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft this time, however. It stars a young actress, I believe, Alicia Vikander, as Lara Croft. This movie is about Lara Croft discovering the secrets of what her father has in store for himself and for Lara Croft, about a lost island that he had discovered and went on his journey to find it because it has a tomb of a historical evil figure within it. And 7 years later, Lara Croft gets to launch her quest to find her father while also finding that tomb and make sure that it doesn't fall into the wrong hands or many people will die. I kind of like the first two Tomb Raider films starring Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft. I understand that they were both kind of guilty pleasure films to watch. The type of films that you can just sit down with your friends, eat your popcorn, and just have fun with how awesome, but also not awesome those films were. However, this time around, we get a more grittier and realistic version of Tomb Raider. A more realistic version of Lara Croft instead of like the over-the-top and incredibly awesome but also kind of cheesy and dumb Lara Croft Tomb Raider film to watch. No, you don't get that in this film at all. And for the most part, I would say this film was pretty watchable. It's a very watchable video game movie. I said this a few seconds ago. This feels more realistic, more gritty, and more serious at what it's doing and what it wants to do. And I feel like it kind of, to a certain extent, paid off. I mean, in terms of the action sequences, this film did very well. At least most of them. Most of the action was done very well. Although some of them kind of got a little bit too unconvincing to the point where I was scratching my head like, really? How could you even... You could have died in that scene, and I will get into that in just a little bit. But first, the action, like I said, for the most part, was done very well. Alicia Vikander, what did I thought about her as Lara Croft? I think she did a pretty solid job. And she wasn't like as, sexy and badass as Lara Croft as Angelina Jolie was in her Tomb Raider films, but I will say that she made a solid performance as Lara Croft, and I really buy into her as Lara Croft. She portrayed the character of Lara Croft in a very respectful manner, to the point where I actually have to give applause to Alicia Vikander for respecting the character and what she stands for and what she does. I feel like she did that well, and I gotta give props to her for that. This movie was really action-packed, and it was in a good way. However, I will say that leads me to one of my issues with the film. It's the implausibilities for within a couple of action sequences. There was one in particular that I want to get into, and it's going to contain a bit of spoilers, not too many, but just a little bit of spoilers. So either way, I gotta talk about it. After Alicia Vikander was holding on to the wing of a very old rusted airplane on the edge of a river on the top of the fall, she was holding on that bag, and and it turned out to be a parachute, and she was holding on, and then she was hanging on till she was heading towards a forest of trees of some sorts. Mini trees she was heading into, and for that scene I was like, someone could have easily died in that scene. She could have been split into pieces. But I mean, there's this whole thing about movies like Tomb Raider, for example, where you either have to roll with it or you don't roll with it, and for me, I don't roll with scenes like that. Another issue I have with the film is that this one specific character in one scene in the third act of the movie The way he was giving his reason for why he believes this evil figure really exists and really was convinced to like a 100% level that this evil figure exists, it was done in a way that made you really raise your eyebrows, and you really didn't believe it and thought it was silly and not believable. I didn't really buy it at all. It's like one of those moments where you're like, come on, this is just silly. I don't buy it. And I have a few more issues, but to wrap it all up, this was a pretty solid video game movie to put on the big screen. I feel like this is the first step in the right direction for many people who watch video game movies and said how awful some video game movies were and all that other stuff, or at least most of them. And Alicia Vikander, like I said, made a very solid performance as Lara Croft. I personally would pick her over Angelina Jolie if I were to go with a gritty, realistic Lara Croft. I'm going to give Tomb Raider a silver medal of honor. So anyway, guys, that is my review for Tomb Raider, starring Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft. If you guys enjoyed my review for Tomb Raider, please click the like button and comment down below to let me know what you think of this movie if you have seen it. If you enjoyed what you've seen here and you want to see future videos from me, please press up there to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great week, Battle Squad, and as always, fight the good fight.